Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Owner's Box. I'm Billy Koch, founder and managing partner of the Little Red Feather Racing Club. Joining me as she eats her lunch is the great, the talented Michelle Yu. Michelle, I sense you're hungry and I sense you're
hmm
excited.
Well, I'm hungry
Yeah,
and
not
I
that
have
excited.
limited time to eat. I'm
Now, is your
excited
hair
to see
parted
you.
on the side? Is that a new thing? Like
Mm-mm.
you have like a side part.
Always had a side part.
Oh, really? Is it
Yeah,
on
it's
the
just
other
not. It's
side?
not
I've never.
popular.
Oh, it's not popular.
People
Hmm.
like nowadays. I think they part their hair in the middle if you're young, but I don't know. To me, that's very like
I think
Adam's
actually
family.
I think it's a good look.
Think so?
Yeah, I
Mm,
would leave it in the middle.
really? All right.
Yeah. I actually watched the movie Shampoo the other night. Have you ever seen Shampoo
Oh my gosh.
with Warren Beatty? It's
Maybe a long time ago.
pretty incredible. We have a great show for you today. Joe Bianca is going to join us. He is the host of Rail Talk with John Green. He is also, as according to Michelle, it's his birthday. Is it his birthday today?
It is. And look, I got him. I told him I would have a cake, but it's just like muffin.
Is he 5 years old?
It's the only candle I had. I don't.
And he's an Eclipse Award winner. He was an investor in Super
Super
Corridor. Is that
Cordura.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
Super Corridora. I keep calling her Super Corridor. It feels like the
Mm.
best hallway in the world. But it's Corridora. So we're gonna have Joe on in any second. Michelle was on their podcast. I don't know, where do you find their podcast? Where every podcast
Real
is found?
talk.
Rail
Yeah.
Talk.
Mm-hmm.
And then have I ever been on that show?
I don't know if you have or not.
I can't remember. You know, I do so many podcasts.
Well, John Green's been on ours,
John Green was on
and
ours, and now we're gonna
I
have
have been on
Joe.
theirs several times.
Yeah.
Um,
So it should be
and
an entertaining half hour. I have no
we've
idea what
never
we're gonna.
had Joe on ours. So
Right, we've never had Joe on ours. So this is kind of a tit for tat. Is that what it's called? Tit for tat?
yeah,
Tat.
that
Tit,
works.
yeah.
Tit for tat. Tit for tat. It's like my
That's
nickname.
not funny. That's not
Um,
funny. We don't
okay.
accuse us. Don't
This
do
last
that.
week.
What?
Okay. Eclipse Awards, were there any shockers to you?
No, I was like you. I was unfortunately for Joe, I was a Sci-Fair fan. Um, but other than that, I really didn't have anything that blew me away. I'm glad Flavian Pratt won. He's a good friend and
Mm-hmm.
he's an amazing rider. Let's see what else. No, nothing really surprised me that much. I
Piano
mean,
over Ben Tornado.
who was it?
Bookham Dano beating Ben Tornado.
I could see that. The kind of body of work
Yeah.
didn't shock me. There's a lot of shit going on in our game. I mean, we're in the midst of a micropolly lawsuit. I can't wait to talk to Joe about that.
What's going on with that?
I'm not 100% sure, but you saw the Jockey Club came out with a statement yesterday
Yes,
that kind of
I
went
did.
through everything. It seemed to me that that was kind of almost like a legal brief,
Mm-hmm.
like to just get everything out in the open. I don't really truly understand the lawsuit by my listen. Let me say a couple things, okay? And we deal with this in politics right now. That no matter what side you're on, there's a lot of things that can be true, and I think people
Okay.
forget about that. So is our game, suffering right now, and are we going through some stuff, and is the full crop down? And you can list 100 different things. All the answers to is yes. Okay. Is Micropoli passionate about the game? One of the biggest owners, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. Yes, right. So this kind of meeting of the minds, so to speak, or this butting heads, and now this lawsuit. I don't know. I don't really understand, and maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not very smart, but I don't understand what he's attempting to do other than just shake everything up like he likes to do, which, by the way, is his right. I have no, I don't have an issue with Micropoli doing that. I think it's going to be interesting, at least, at the very least, it gives like for us, for content people, I mean, it gives us something to talk about. But at the same time, um, you know, we all want the same thing, and
Well,
I have
I
a hard
think
time. I
part
have a
of
hard time
his
believing. I think in the old days when the Jockey Club was run by the Phipps family and whoever else was, I think yeah, you could call it an old boys club. But when you look at the roster of people and you look at a guy like Everett Dobson and Brett Jones and people like that, I don't feel like they're really part of this quote unquote old boys network. I think Do we need better leadership in our game? Absolutely. Do we need a commissioner? Maybe. But I don't. I get frustrated when you just kind of read this stuff and you don't really understand.
Mhm.
Sometimes I don't really understand exactly what Rapoli wants. I don't understand. I've spoken to Mike. I've always got along well with Mike personally. He's obviously an incredible marketer, and he's created billion-dollar companies, which is much more than I've ever done or any of us have ever done. And he needs to be respected for that. And look at his ways he goes about things are different than I think a lot of us probably would go about them, but that doesn't mean they're wrong. So I'm not necessarily I'm not defending Mike, but I'm not defending the Jockey Club either. I think hopefully for all of us, I'll call us little people, Michelle, myself, people who rely on this game for our livelihood. I hope at some point they can get together and make our game better. And I think that's what we're all striving to do. How is that for a soapbox?
I love Soapbox Billy. It's my
Yeah,
favorite. I think part of the catalyst was he had this plan for aftercare that him and Pat Cummings had built and tried to nurture along, and was promised it would be put in front of the powers that be at the Jockey Club, and then it was denied. And when he spoke to the Jockey Club higher ups, they were like, "We've never seen this." So
yeah, I
someone
saw that.
interfered in it getting to where it maybe needed to go for it to be a movement, right? And I think
That's
that
a
that
distinct possibility. Yeah, I can see that.
helped make him upset,
I can see that.
you know.
That makes sense. Yeah, if
Uh,
that's true, I have no idea. I got to get anti-glare glasses. They're bugging the hell out of me.
oh, yeah. I mean, we
I'm gonna
can
put
see
my
the reflection.
I'm gonna put my
Now
hat
we
down
can't
like
see your
this.
eyeballs at all.
No, there we go.
What about Pegasus this weekend?
I thought it was a really good day of racing, as I've stated. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not a huge Pegasus Day fan. I've gone
Mhm.
several times. I don't love it there. I'm not a big Miami guy, but the racing itself I thought was awesome. I thought Skippy Longstocking beating White Abario was an incredible story. I mean, Skippy's been a hard knocking graded stakes horse. He's what is he 7, and White Abario I think is 7. I think it just
And Full
says
Serrano is 7.
and full Serrano 7. I think it just says
Mhm.
something about our game, how important, whether they're colts or geldings, to try to keep these horses going. And I think it's a tribute to Safi. I think that if you'd have told me if I was allowed to bet at the quarter pole, I would have bet probably my life savings on Weta Barrio.
Really? When he started to move, I was like, "It's
Oh, it's
gonna
like,
be a Barrio
oh, it's
again," right?
done.
I thought the same.
I caught myself from saying it's over, because I don't like you. That's the biggest jinx ever.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really good. I thought the test score stepping up against Older for the first time was really impressive, winning the
Mhm.
Pegasus turf and the one stripe, the Graham Motion's other Graham Motion runs 1-2, and then he's got to go on Twitter and make comments, which I don't understand from Graham. Told him
Wait,
several times.
Graham made comments?
Oh, Graham goes political. He
Well, he
makes
goes
like these.
political, yeah, but I thought you
That's
meant
what
he
I'm
made
saying. It's
comments
like,
about his
why,
horse.
well, like Graham, just like don't go political. Like no one needs it. But he can't help himself. I've actually literally told him, I'm like, Graham, you have people from both sides like that are your clients. Like, what are you doing? And he's just like, I can't help myself sometimes. So
No way.
yeah, no, true story. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And
Oh,
but overall I thought the racing was very good. I hated the inquiry no call on that unfortunately Umberto Rispoli was dismounted after Unconquerable Keen
mhm,
was completely checked and almost fell down. I thought that was way too quick, and my thoughts and prayers. I think all of our thoughts and prayers to Umberto and his family and Kimberly and the two boys, and he's going to be out for a while. And Matt Nakatani. I mean, those are some of my, those are very close friends of mine. Rispoli obviously rides a lot of our horses, and that was just it was a real bummer. And
mhm,
you know, going back on my soapbox, these riders, and listen, you and I talk about riders and we're very critical, and you can tease and you can joke, but at the end of the day, they're putting their lives at risk pretty much every single time they come out of the starting gate. And sometimes you have to look at the perspective of just as terrible that injury was. I think he broke his leg in at least 2 places and dislocated his
mhm.
ankles, from what I've heard. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, he's got
Uh,
2 rods
two
coming out of
rods.
it,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah. It's just brutal. But at the same time, when you have kids like he does, and he's a family man, thank God it wasn't worse,
Yeah.
right? Like, thank God
Mhm.
it's his leg. It's a long way from his heart and his mind, and
I know
so
he's kind of short. It's a little close to his.
yeah, you're
No,
right. We can
too soon?
tease, we can tease. But
All right, Joe's joining us. Are you
okay,
ready?
did he hear our whole soapbox?
He heard our whole soapbox. Let's
Everything?
bring him in.
Hello,
Hey, guys.
Joseph.
Look at
Hello.
Joe. Hold on.
Wait, happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday
you.
to
Happy birthday
you.
to you. We'll let
Happy
Michelle sing.
birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joe. Happy birthday to you.
You guys are too
Do
sweet.
you
How
want to
old are
blow
you?
out your candle?
How old are you?
39, my last year in my 30s.
Wow.
Hold on,
All right,
it's got to
blow out
blow
the
out his
candle.
candle before it
All right.
floats it. Oh, the
Good.
magic of television.
Good.
Gosh,
That's
don't
amazing.
Don't ever buy another
39.
candle. Look how fast that like burned out.
Yeah.
What's it like to be 39?
Oh man, I'll let you know after tonight. But yeah, I'm actually going to celebrate my half birthday too this year, just so I can get it all in before I enter my 40s.
That's
That's pretty
very
smart.
Alice
That's
in
pretty
Wonderland
smart.
of you.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever celebrated a half birthday.
Well, because it also sucks having a winter birthday, because like especially in New York City, like to try to rally people out in 10-degree weather, like I'm over it, you know. So end of
Which-
July, you'll see me.
Which NHL jersey are you wearing?
This is the Red Wings centennial jersey.
Oh,
Are you-
that's like Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you
It's like
from
the
Are you
100th
from
year
Detroit?
anniversary. So I'm actually a Rangers fan, but I love this jersey so much that I had to.
Well, congratulations are in order. Were you at the Eclipse Awards accepting?
Yes, yeah. I was somewhere in the back of all the partners and the rest of the team. But yes, I was there, and it was obviously a tremendous honor. And it was, you know, it wasn't a lock. I didn't think, you know, I saw like the side fair people, one included on this stage right now.
Two included on this stage.
That's all good. I didn't want to assume what Billy did, but
It's all right.
no, but like, so it wasn't like it wasn't a lock in our mind. So yeah, until they actually announced it, it was, you know, there was some anxiety there, but yeah, beautiful experience. You know, really well done show. They kept it moving, which was very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was incredible to be part of.
How long have you been a West Point investor, and how did that get started?
So I'm not actually an investor. I'm part of the team.
Oh, you're a West Point team person.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I thought you were an investor.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. So yeah,
Shows you how much research we do before the show.
Just to be fair, I just tell Billy we're going on at this time, and like he doesn't know who's coming on.
No, it's all good. So yeah, I've been working with West Point about a little over 3 years now. I started at the beginning of 2023. It's been a really cool experience. You know, before that, I was obviously at the TDN, and you know, I had the Writers Room podcast, and that's kind of how Terry and I got to know each other. So yeah, it's just something new and different for me. Like I had been a journalism grad, and you know, a writer and an editor and all that stuff. So I'd never done like sales or client relations or any of that stuff. But it's fun. You know, it's a great. You know, you can attest to this, Billy. It's great to be around so many people who are so excited about racing all the time.
Yeah.
How did you get into horse racing to begin with?
So I had a friend when I was like in middle school whose dad would make bets on the Triple Crown races for us because he was a big racing fan and was just trying to get us to watch. So that kind of got me like a little bit intrigued and curious. And then and I always tell this story, but in 2003, I decided to try betting for the first time on my own, and that was the year that Funny Side won. And I hit the try for like $600. Wow. And so being like a 16-year-old with like a $600 return in like 2 minutes, I was hooked right there. And as I always say, tens of thousands of dollars later, here I am still.
And then you went into journalism.
Correct.
Were you a journalism major?
I was, yeah. I went to Long Island University here in Brooklyn. I did like broadcasting for the basketball team, D1, and did like a radio show. And
you've got a real great voice for radio.
Thank you. Yeah, face for radio too.
He really does.
No, he's cute. There's a lot of facial hair in this particular segment.
What?
And
actually, because of him, I just shaved mine. Like mine's tight and it's so gray you can barely even see it.
Joe combs his facial hair.
I know. Michelle's always like, "Are you like putting on cologne?" And no, I'm just doing this. Like,
oh, you comb it.
Yep.
You almost have like the neck beard too, which is
brush.
Cool.
Yeah. I think it's pretty full. But so anyway, so I actually covered high school basketball in New York City for a little while, which was a lot of fun. So I had like
So cool.
a bunch of odd jobs in journalism, and was at CBS Sports for a little bit, working in archives, and then eventually found my way to the TDN and kind of have been writing and broadcasting since.
So you talked to Terry and during the TDN, and then how does that, like, what role are you with West Point now that I know you actually work with them rather than an investor? Like, what do you actually do? I mean, I know you from Rail Talk, and I see you with the West Point guys. I didn't know there was, but give us the scoop.
Yeah, so basically my official title is ownership advisor. So basically, I bring new people in, I talk to prospective partners, kind of tell them how West Point and how the business works, bring them in once they invest. Like, I'm kind of their one-on-one contact in terms of like horse updates and, going to visit the horses and go to the races and all that. And I'm kind of like the point person when we're at the track, especially here in New York. I'm like, it's kind of my domain. So anytime we have a horse running here in New York, I'm the one like, rallying and organizing. Yeah. People, getting them to the paddock and then hopefully to the winner's circle. So yeah, it's like a lot of communications and selling, obviously, when we have new horses to sell.
Okay, so as a partnership person that I am, I'm sorry, Michelle, I jumped in here, but I want to ask the hard question because, I get this all the time. We deal in a world where we are a for-profit company, and the West Point obviously has been very, very successful over the years. But I get the question that I'm sure you get, and you see it on social media, is the question about margins and the question about markup. So what is the standard Joe Bianca answer when someone says, well, wait a second, you bought this horse for $100,000 and you're syndicating it for $4 million? I'm just using it as an example. I don't think West Point probably does that, but give me the answer to that.
Yeah, I mean, typically it's that, you're getting to skip a lot of steps to get to this point. If you were to go try to do this on your own, yes, you wouldn't pay the markup, but you would make a lot of mistakes and have to learn a lot of tough lessons in order to finally get to a point where you're picking the right horses, you're sending them to the right people, and you're able to develop them the right way. Whereas we've already done that legwork for decades now and have all that infrastructure in place. And it's also an experience, investment as well. Like, we have a full-time owner concierge on our staff who's awesome and like gets people set up with tickets and barn visits and all that stuff. So, we kind of to say that, all you got to do is show up and have fun on race day. And so we take a lot of the unfun administrative stuff out of it. And that's kind of the premium that you're paying. And just as an aside, I always love the people that are like on Twitter and like, they think they've like cracked the case where they're like, they bought this for this and sold it. Like, Don't you think our owners can see that too? Invest with us. Like, you're not Sherlock Holmes because you figured out we're selling the horse for more than we bought it for.
Right. Well, I always use the thing like you really like that NHL Detroit Red Wings jersey. Like, how much do you think that cost to make?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. It cost what, $20, and Joe, you probably bought it for $120. Well, there's margins on everything you do in life. Basically, you like a certain pizza shop that it doesn't cost them that much to make that pizza, and they charge what they charge. And if you don't like it, you don't have to shop there.
Yeah, and there's so much that goes into the business that like you don't see, that it's just because like, with our model, we build in a lot of expenses up front too. So it's not just like the purchase price and then the sale price. Yeah. And sometimes I'll get like a prospective partner who's like, listen, the markup is just a little too much and I'd rather go do it on my own. And I respect that. Like, if that's the conclusion you come to, that's great. But with over 700 clients, like, enough people have said that the juice is worth the squeeze,
Sure. Absolutely. Michelle.
Joe, because our podcast originally started as a way to entice and then educate people into ownership, how do you find people to like get them into horse ownership? Like, is this like hey, you look like a guy at a bar that might be wanting to watch a horse race? Or is this like purely people that are contacting West Point? Like, how does that work?
And before you answer, let me just write this down. Go ahead.
No, I mean, honestly, thankfully, a lot of people come to us, whether it's like Google searches or whatever. We run ads, on pretty much all the major broadcasts, like at least during the spring and summer here in New York. So a lot of people find out about us through that. And, there is some word of mouth. We get referrals from other clients. And yeah, thankfully, like I'm a typical millennial in that I hate talking on the phone. Like, it's like one of my least favorite things ever. So thankfully, like, I rarely ever have to do like cold calls out of the blue. Somebody
Have you ever cold walked up to someone though and been like, "Hey, you look like you want to buy a horse"?
No, and I don't want to ever.
Not at the sale. You're not like, that guy looks like he's got some money and he wants to buy it. No.
I have some inclination that like you're into horses or something, and then we could strike up a conversation. But no, not out of the blue like that.
Billy, have you ever done that? Have you ever walked up to someone and been like, "Hey, you want to buy a horse"?
Oh, 100%. I did it 2 nights ago.
To a random person?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't random. I had never met the guy, but he's the brother of one of my wife's good friends, and I had never met him.
Okay.
And this is actually pretty funny. I went up to him and I'm like, "What about horses?" And he's like, "Yeah, he goes, we have about 100. I'm like, "Oh, oh my God." I'm like, "Well, who's your trainer? Like, what are you doing?" He goes, No. We have Arabians, riding horses. Like, they didn't have any thoroughbreds. So it was really funny. So I was like the whole night trying to get him like to like, "Hey, maybe this might be fun for
Right.
you." Trying as subtly as I could, but I did take some pot juice before I was there. So I don't know how subtle it was. And so the best part of the whole story is his neighbor is Nick Alexander.
No.
Yeah. And I'm like, "What? Like, what is happening here?" So of course I'm texting Nick. I'm taking pictures of me and the guy. It's like, it was really funny. So anyway, man, that's how it gets done. But I am not.
I would have thought it was Nick himself, maybe.
No,
Hey, Nick never says no.
Well, let's listen. We've talked about partnerships and ownership, but one of the things Michelle and I were just talking about is this whole Mike Rapoli situation. You had him on your podcast recently. I listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
What is your? Can you help Michelle and I just explain this whole situation on what we've gotten ourselves into?
Well, Mike is from Queens. I don't know if you've heard. And
we have Mike from Queens.
I think that's a part of his kind of bravado. I think, is being a guy from Queens. And I don't know if you saw the 100th episode. He and I kind of got into it a little bit. Like,
yeah,
guy from Brooklyn, the guy from Queens. Like, Mike, he's one of those guys that like he'll say something that I really agree with and think is really smart, and then he'll bury it in minutes of rambling nonsense. And like that to me is what's so frustrating. Is like he just talks for so long because I think he likes to hear the sound of his own voice, like a lot of guys from Queens. And it kind of just obscures a lot of the good ideas that he does have. And I had like a lot of hope when he hired Pat Cummings to do the NTA thing, because I have a lot of respect for Pat. And I thought that when it happened at the time, what I said on the show was like, I would love for them to like moderate each other, because Pat is a really, really smart guy, but like not the biggest personality in the room.
Yeah.
And Nick is like also a smart guy, but needs a little more message discipline, needs a little less personality. And I was hoping that they kind of meet in the middle. But I feel like Mike's personality now has overwhelmed everything, and it's unfortunate. And I think the thing that is like counterproductive too is that he takes everything so personally.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like another Queens, New York City guy thing, is like this kind of vendetta, this chip on your shoulder, and it's just like. And I don't say this like that he doesn't have a beef, like he's been left out of discussions over the years. I think he probably has, especially relative to the amount of money he spends. So I think he does have some legitimate complaints about like, hey, why are you not listening to my ideas?
Why have you not brought me to the table?
Yeah. Now it's gotten to the point where it's almost entirely, to me at least, about that personal conflict. And it just has become so counterproductive. And the back and forth has gotten to the point where it's just, where are the ideas? Like, that's my thing. It's like, where are all the ideas laid out point by point? Here's what we need to do. Here's how we're going to do it. There's just so much fluff and so much vitriol that has obscured all of that is what is frustrating to me. And I don't know how we get to a point where, we're being constructive.
We're going to find out with this lawsuit. Joe Bianca joining us here on the Owner's Box. Michelle, go ahead.
Let's talk a little bit about Rail Talk as well, because you've moved from the TDN to Rail Talk. Great product.
Wait, you have your own cups?
Yeah, of course. You got to have merch.
I could put the Owner's Box on my orange cup, Billy.
I mean, is Rail Talk like? What are the podcasts?
Rail Talk is like the #1 podcast. I saw a Twitter poll, and it was like, which do you listen to? And it was like our show, the TDN Writers Room, the Rail Talk, and Steve Bick. And it was like 90% listen to Rail Talk.
Where did we get?
We were tied for second.
We were?
Room is last.
I think I think our show is like very unlistened to. I have not, except for the 6 people that walk up to Michelle and I during the year when we go to different tracks and go, "Hey, by the way, I love your pod." Oh, great!
I
But
watched you guys.
this
I
has
think
been a
I think
real
it's great.
this has been a real success, Rail Talk, for you.
Yeah, I mean it's been a lot of fun. First of all, I mean I think that's the main thing is you know when John Green and I were doing the writers' room over at TDN, it just like not spilling any state secrets, but it's an advertiser funded publication, and it just kind of gets to the point where you can't say this, don't say that so strongly, and with this, like it's really just me, John, and our producer Patty, and then we have a couple associate producers. Like that's the whole team, and we're completely like independently funded. That it's like we kind of just get to do our own thing and talk how we would talk off air together.
Yeah.
And, obviously we can't do it without sponsors. So shout out to Facig and TaylorMade and Epic Insurance, the Green Group. Like they've
you guys actually have sponsors?
Yeah, I mean that's how we keep
sponsors too, Billy.
Yeah, I mean that's how we keep it going. Like these mugs don't pay for themselves, Billy. Like that's
that's good.
So yeah, we've gotten some good sponsorship support, but I still feel like we've been able to like maintain our independence and say what we want to say. And yeah, the main thing is we have a lot of fun with it, and I think I think a lot of people they want voices that are not being muzzled and actually say what they think, because going back to Mike Rapoli for a second, I think part of his allure and his why people like him is that there's no filter between what he's saying and what he's thinking. Sometimes he could stand to have a filter, but I think overall people like that forthrightness, and I think that's kind of something that we kind of try to bring to the table.
I think it's great. I mean, I listen. I think Michelle's been on a couple times. I've never been invited. Was I on ever? Did we were talking about that?
I don't think so. Well,
I think I'm too boring and old though. Like that's why our podcast, like I just like letting Michelle run with it, and she's clever and smart, and I just come in here and just give soapboxes.
Billy's soapboxes are really good. You should have a soapbox on Real Talk.
Soapbox. I should have a segment.
A segment on Real Talk.
That'd be amazing.
Then no one would listen to our pod.
I mean, I did listen to when John Green said something nice about me on the American Greatest Steaks Committee.
Yes.
Did he really?
That was my favorite segment of the year.
That's when I was on your show, and John said something nice about Billy, and I told Billy.
I was very pleased. No, I like John Green. I think he's good for the industry. Go ahead, Michelle. Anything else for John? I mean, for Joe. I feel like we're wasting his time.
No, you're not. I'm loving this.
Okay. All right. As long as he's having fun.
He's snowed in right now. There's like 7 feet of snow outside his door.
For the rest of the day. That's great.
He's stuck. He's just gonna sit here.
And you got me a cake. And you got me a birthday cake. So how can I ever leave?
That's so
we
cute.
Did. Yeah.
I do want to know about so since you're client relations, but I see you with the sales of the time. What kind of role do you play there? Do you get to help pick out the horses? Do you get to help submit the names? Like, do you get to do all the fun owner stuff?
No. Not at all. So basically, like my opinion is only kind of taken into account when it's like, is this horse marketable? Like, do you think this horse will sell? Well, I think that's honestly good, because we have a great buying team led by David and Gordo from Lane's End, and they go down to the sale and they're weeks in advance and do all the research. So I honestly think that sometimes when you do have a partnership, that thing can become like too many cooks in the kitchen. So I do think, honestly, it's better that it's pretty much just Terry and David that picked the horses in that bid. And my job when I'm down at the sale, it's pretty fun actually. So we have like a little Zoom webinar that we'll do with our partners, kind of going over our short list. Here's who we're looking at. Here's why we like them. We also host a lot of partners will come down to the sales, like usually a couple dozen each time. And they'll come out with us in the mornings as we're pulling horses out and, eyeballing them and having them walk. So it's a lot of kind of hosting duty for me. And then, obviously once we buy, selling the shares, but yeah, it's kind of just getting people prepped and getting people excited for the new horses.
What horse have you liked the best? Like, what's your favorite West Point horse?
I
would say, I mean, Super Corridor is a hard one not to take at this very moment, but I'm going to go with another filly, Counting Stars, who won 2 stakes in the span of 13 days towards the end of the year at Oaklawn. She won the Astral Spago in 6 furlongs, and she stretched out to a mile and won the year's end 13 days later. She's going to run the Martha Washington. She was one of those horses that I really fell in love with at the sale. And Michelle, this is kind of like why it's fun to be at the sale is to be
Right.
up close with the horses. And she just like had the sweetest temperament and demeanor and was just so chill and so cool and so really well put together. And she was $150,000, which obviously in the real world is a lot of money, but in the world of horse racing is not a ton of money. And I have a soft spot for those kind of overachievers. And, you know, seeing her from the sale, I always remember she was so sweet. I went up to her at the stall, and like she had like a little piece of hay stuck on her eyelash, and I went to grab the piece of hay, and she's like,
"Oh,
it's so sweet and so patient." And I was like, "Yep, you're the one." And so yeah, I really fell in love with her. And it's funny because like after the stakes win, partners will like call me and be like, "You knew it, you knew it." I was like, trust me, there's other ones I love too that don't pan out. But yeah, I'd say counting stars right now.
But
what
it's
a great
great.
name, too."
It's great being it. One of the things in this game, because you're going to be wrong so much, is that it's great to be right.
Yeah.
I have a couple of friends that I'm very close to that we do some claiming with. He buys in a lot of our horses. Very, very smart guy. And he says this to me all the time, especially with the claiming game or with the buying. You know, he's like, it's not really about the money. It's just about being right. And that is that people forget about that. Like, you know, when you we had a European filly win over the weekend, and it's like, the whole leading up, you'll have some feeling about this, Joe, because look, the whole time she was training, I kept saying to myself, I think this filly's really good.
Yeah.
You know, and like we didn't sell out right away. And like I was telling like the people that I really know and they trust me, I'm like, guys, I think this filly's really good. Like maybe take
This
a
is
piece
the
of
one
this
with
filly.
a good name that just debuted last weekend, right?
Inbox. Yeah.
Inbox, yeah.
And I kept and then but then still, like as they go into the gate, you're scared shitless. Like you're thinking to yourself, like, I can't believe I like
I told
what did I
everyone
do?
this one was good.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden she wins, and it's not ego. It's kind
Relief.
of prideful, but it's also this like internal, like, oh my God, I was right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, you know, that's it. And then you're done.
No, totally. And that's kind of like why I'm still a horse player. You know what I mean? Like, you know, over
Right.
time, you get kicked in the teeth a lot as a better, and there's a lot more like despair than great times. But when you're right, like, and you really cash a good ticket, you have a strong opinion, you bet it right. Like, there's no feeling like that. And you know, same deal like with, as you're saying, you know, with ownership, and especially with ownership, because you know what it takes to get that horse to that point.
Yep.
You know, it's not just like you buy a horse and you turn around there in the starting gate the next day. Like they need a lot of development, a lot of care, and a lot of training. And yeah, for them to like get to that point, and you saw the potential from the beginning, but then there were no hiccups, like major hiccups along the way, that actually came together. That's huge. And I totally agree. There's nothing like that feeling.
It is a great feeling, and there's so much, like as you just said, to horse ownership and to the process itself. One of the things that West Point does is really spreads it around. I mean, you have a base in California, you have a big thing in New York, as you said, they have Kentucky, and they have so many trainers. What's the process when you sit down and you guys all say like, well, who's this horse going to? Is it Dallas Stewart? Is it John Sadler? Is it like, is that a team meeting where you guys all kind of all huddle up together? Oh, we got to keep this guy happy. Or is it, we think this horse will sell best in the Midwest, or it's, you know, it's a turf horse, so maybe it should go to Southern California. What is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. You know, sometimes it'll be as simple as like we're at the sale and Miguel Clement or somebody will come up to us and we'll compare notes, and the horse will be on both of our short lists. And so then if we buy that horse, like obviously the horse is going to go to Miguel because we've already like come together at that point. But other times, like it kind of is just about having the right representation for how many partners we have in each region. And we do have a base in California. We have about 100 or so partners out there, but we have, you know, significantly more on the East Coast and in the Midwest. So I think it's more just like, hey, have we sent enough horses to New York from this sale to meet the demand from the New York and tri-state East Coast people? If not, let's find another horse and send it to another, you know, trainer in New York. So yeah, we try to like split it up pretty evenly amongst trainers. Region is really more where we focus, and just making sure we have like enough availability for people, you know, depending on their proportion of our partner base.
Because overall, people want to go see their horses, right? I mean, that's the key. So it's like you might want to buy into a horse, but he's going to California. You're like, I'll never get to see
No,
him.
that's the whole thing. And Michelle, honestly, like I push for a lot more California horses. Like it's just because we have a good amount of partners out there, and we have about a dozen, I think, out there right now. And I think for a while we had not had a whole lot of success and not had a bunch of wins for a while. But I think, things are starting to percolate a lot more in the last year or so. That I think the folks we have out there are much more excited. And, it's a challenge sometimes, getting the races to fill in California, as you know. But just know, I'm always pushing for a bigger California presence. If not, to hang out with you, Michelle.
Oh,
yeah. I
that's
mean,
so
who better to
nice.
hang out with? Are you
I'll
single?
save the cake for when you come and
You
we
have
can
kids?
share it.
No kids. I'm married. No kids though.
How long have you been married?
A year and a half almost.
Do you like Broadway?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, Megan does. My wife does, but no.
I was there in November, and then I was there last month to go see shows, and I'm taking Olivia in 3 weeks to go see more shows.
You just love it. She just loves it. She just loves it. So no kids, a year and a half. We're very close because I've now been married for 31 and a half years.
Oh, wow.
He has kids, but they're out of the
I want this
house.
in 30 years. Oh, shit, I'll be 86. We should do another pod. We'll see how gray Joe's beard is.
Really?
What's that?
You're 56?
I'm 56.
Wow, you look good, man.
I don't look good, but I appreciate that.
From this angle right here, you certainly.
You should see the bags.
Billy, you look good.
Come on, you guys. Come on, I'm blushing. Now I'm blushing.
You're so funny. Oh, before we let Joe go, what's the plan with Super Corridora? Because I saw that she was nominated for our Philly steak out here. Is she ready for that? Is she going in that? It'd be nice if you guys sent her somewhere else for me because I've got a horse that's running in there.
No, Michelle, we need her in Southern California.
I know,
right. So she's going to run in the Las Virgenes next Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. Got pushed back a week. It sounds like Explorer is going to be in there as well. So we'll get a little rematch from the Breeders' Cup. So, yeah, she's training great. She's going to run there, and then we'll kind of just take it from there. Santa Anita Oaks, definitely a possibility. Maybe ship out of town for next prep. But 2 preps before the Kentucky Oaks, starting with the race next Sunday.
John doesn't like to ship a lot. John's not a shipper. John likes to. He is very loyal to California, and I'm happy for that for our standpoint, right? Because he keeps his good horses here, so we get to see them and they run in our races. But
I think John's an okay trainer. He'll probably figure it out someday.
If he just got a really good horse.
Yeah, he just had one really good horse that might have been the best horse of our generation.
Should he be in the Hall of Fame? Am I crazy? Or should he be in the Hall of Fame?
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
When's he eligible?
He's been eligible, I thought.
I
thought he was in the Hall of Fame.
I thought doesn't it have to be
he's you know what he is?
You
know what he is? He's the Bill Belichick of horse racing because they just announced today that Belichick did not get in the Hall of Fame.
Belichick is a dick.
I'm sorry, wait, what? Bill Belichick is not in the
Hall of Fame? That's
a dick. Patriots or Seahawks?
Oh,
Patriots.
Seahawks. I'm unfortunately a Jet fan, so there's no way in hell I'll be with the Patriots.
Unfortunately,
you had Sam Darnold
time and time again, Joe.
Well, can I rant real quick on the Sam Darnold?
Go on a full Sam Darnold.
Everybody is dumping on the Jets for getting rid of Sam Darnold. He sucked his last 2 years with the Jets, and I'm not saying he wasn't in a bad situation. The Vikings had him last year and won 14 games and let him walk out the door for the worst quarterback in their division. Why do the Vikings not get the vitriol of the Jets?
They're getting vitriol. Don't worry.
I haven't seen it really.
Oh, right. Yeah. They're getting vitriol. Are you kidding me? There's the JJ McCarthy memes. The JJ McCarthy memes are incredible. And look, Sam Darnold, when he was on the Jets, he was seeing ghosts. So obviously the ghosts are gone.
Yeah. No, and I'm happy for Sam. He
could have been the system. This is what happens to young quarterbacks that go to bad teams.
Yep.
And a lot of times, you can look at the Sam Darnolds, the Baker Mayfields, the list goes on and on. When these high drafted young quarterbacks go to teams that don't have the direction, the personnel, the offensive line, they struggle. And oftentimes
that's why I'm worried about Mendoza going to the Raiders.
I think though that the Raiders, with Genti and some of their, I think their offensive line was porous, but I think they have at least a direction there. And I think, it'll be interesting to see what Mendoza does in Vegas as just one of the nicest people of all time. And now he's living in Sin City. I mean, it's unbelievable. So it will be interesting. But anyway, we can talk football all day. Joe, thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
Everyone listen to Rail Talk. Everyone go check out West Point, westpointtb.com. Did I say that?
Correct.
Yeah,
Thank you guys so much for
And
having me.
West Point does have a good aftercare program because we're
Yes.
very aftercare focused
Yes.
on here.
So
They've
where my
got
LA
the
Cares at.
yeah,
Yep. The Guernsey
they've
Black
got
and
their
Gold
own
Fund. So
yeah,
it's
the Black and Gold Fund.
It's great. And
We actually have a retired West Point color bearer at the farm I'm at that a former partner owns, but I help her with him, like manage all that he is. Rock Me Baby.
Oh, I remember Rock Me Baby.
So yeah, we're around him every single day.
Joe, keep up the good work. Have a wonderful birthday. Do you have any plans tonight?
Yeah, he can't leave his house. It's negative 12 degrees.
Well, I'm leaving the house, Michelle. We got dinner in the city. They plowed the roads enough for me to go do dinner. And then because I had to find somewhere even colder, I'm going to the Poconos for the next couple of days. So
wow.
Where are you going to dinner so I know where I should go when I come?
It's a seafood place called
Uh-oh.
Oh, he froze.
That
was intentional.
Yeah, it's like a mystery now. This is incredible.
Seafood place. I'm going to yelp seafood places in New York. I can't believe he's still frozen.
Right. Thanks, Joe. Bye, Joe. Frozen Joe. Just take him off.
I might just leave him here like this.
That'd be amazing if you just left him there.
This is like Weekend at Bernie's now.
I would go to PJ Clark's. That's like my favorite hamburger place in New York.
Oh, it's a hamburger place?
Yeah, it's so good.
Okay.
In fact, I might go get a hamburger right now. All right, Michelle, is anything else we need to plug?
Not that I know of. Big racing coming up, I'm sure, at Santa Anita. I haven't looked though, because I'm going back to Florida.
Are you really for the Holy Bull?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm going back to Florida.
If you'd like to see Michelle dance more and change her hairstyle in the middle of the show, you can always listen and watch the owner.
You know what? Today, our fans got a mukbang. All right.
A mukbang?
A mukbang.
What's a mukbang?
That's what's called when you eat food on camera.
Oh, that's called a mukbang?
Yeah. So, but you're supposed to make a lot of noise. So you're supposed to like.
It's called a mukbang.
And then you like drip food.
Why don't you name a horse mukbang?
I want to name a horse mukbang.
I've been doing a lot of naming lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought one at the sale to name because I have every other horse I have with partners doesn't like my name. So I had to buy a horse at the Calbred sale.
What's the name?
Eurydice.
Eurydice?
Mm-hmm.
Like, does that mean something?
It's Greek. There's a great musical right now called Hadestown, and it's the story of Eurydice and Orpheus. They're kind of like a little star-crossed lovers in a way. So to synopsis it real quick, Eurydice and Orpheus fall in love.
What did you just say? To synopsis it? Synopsis. Okay, you said synopsis.
To condense it. So they fall in love, but Orpheus is writing this song, and it's cold, and she goes out to find food and warmth, and she gets bitten by a viper, and she goes down to Hades. And then when he finally realizes that, he's like, oh shit, she's not here. So he asks, where is she? And Hermes tells him she went to the underworld. So Orpheus walks for 3 years to get down to the underworld to find Eurydice. And he's like, I need to bring her back. I'm going to take her. And Hades is like, nay, you're not. And he's like, what can I do? Let me sing you this song. And so he sang the song about Hades and Persephone. And Hades like, okay, I like it. I feel moved. I'm going to let you take her. But A, she has to walk. B, she has to walk behind you. And C, you can never look back until you are back in the real world. So if you guys don't want to hear the end, turn off now. But basically they
Spoiler alert.
If they walk for 3 years back up out of Hades, and as he clears and the whole time she can't hear her, right? So he's not sure, is she behind me? Is she not behind me? Whatever. And so when he gets to the top, he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And he turns around and she lagged behind and she was still in like the tunnel to leave. And he was cleared. She wasn't. And she just sinks back in the ground. And then they say, and tomorrow we'll sing it again. So basically it's about like the world you know and the world you hope it's going to be. But it's
that's a good lesson for horse racing.
I feel like it's horse racing because even though you know the ending is probably going to be your horse is slow, you keep buying horses and running horses hoping to get a fast one.
Just looking for that one special horse.
Yes. So
we all are.
Anyways,
hopefully Joe Bianca will find
Mukbang would be a great name.
Mukbang. All right, mukbangers. We'll see you guys later. Adios.
Bye.